raw or not to raw? That is the question. For a pecan and other nuts, it's an important subject. Raw is better for a nut. However, for a tomato, actually, there's more lycopene available to the body in a cooked tomato than there is in a raw tomato. So I try to eat a variety of both raw and cooked in all kinds of fruits and vegetables. This recipe today is going to feature our little friend here, the pecan. And it's in honor of Susan Crosspecans. And it's one of my favorites. It's one I came up with long before I met Susan. And it's very easy. And here it is. 4 cups of date sugar. Now this is a complex carbohydrate, so you don't need to worry about it making you fat. Date sugar is simply dried dates that have been ground up to make sugar. We have 4 cups of the date sugar, 1.5 cups of water, and 1/2 cup of carrot powder. And we're going to mix this up until it is nice and smooth. One optional ingredient you can put in this is about 1 cup of coconut if you like coconut. I'm going to make it plain today. And here's how it should look. Now at this point, I've got 6 cups of raw pecans. These came from Susan. And you just mix it all together until the nuts are well coated. You can also use other nuts if you prefer. Almonds work really good in this recipe. Or you could even make a mixture of nuts. Maybe half of it could be almonds and half of it pecans or something like that. I like using pecans and almonds because they tend to be a little bit sweeter nut. Now, I've got everything nice and thoroughly mixed here. The next step is to put this onto a dehydrator sheet. And what I've done is I I've got a regular dehydrator tray here, and I've put a parchment on it. I'm just going to drop by spoonfuls. Or in my case, forkfuls of the mixture onto the parchment paper. And if you like, you can soak the nuts to maybe make them more of a sprouted confection. And then once I have the thing full, I put it in the dehydrator and start another one. Now I have never tried soaking or sprouting the nuts when I use them in this recipe, but I would imagine that that would make them much more digestible. So if any of you try it, let me know what you think. Maybe try it different ways and see what works best. Looks like this is going to make about 2.5 trays. So I'll put the other one in. And the last one is going to be mostly sugar and carb. Now with this dehydrator, the shelves will sit kind of close together, so what I do with this is I put these on every other shelf so that there's a little more space, because they sit kind of high on the sheet. And as you can see, it's every other one. See, there's an extra shelf that would have gone there and there. I don't want them close together because then it'll rub on top of each piece of candy. And then I just put the lid on. I've set the temperature for about 145, which is kind of between what you do for a meat or a fruit roll, that kind of temperature area. And I'm going to leave it overnight, and tomorrow it should be done. It's now been 24 hours and my candy should be ready, so let's have a look. Perfect. These are nice and dry, just right. These would be great for travel or just an after dinner treat.